Hello everyone, after a long break I'm here with a new kit. It's a 1/35th scale AFV Club armored infantry fighting vehicle. This machine is being produced by FNSS company under license for Turkish Army. Kit comes with NATO decals for Turkish version, but I will do the camouflage that they used for Euphrates shield operation. The kit did not satisfy me in terms of quality of plastic and assembling process. This part, which forms the front armor of the vehicle, is bent as seen. I think this is done before boxing as there is no deformation on the box. This is pretty annoying situation, you can damage it more while you're trying to fix it. As usual, I cut the parts from the tree and clean it with a sharp blade. I heated the bent front armor in order to restore it. The upper armor plate is also deformed. I have glued it to the lower armor and waited until the two pieces melt and fuse together. Kit comes with a few photo etch parts. I glue them with a super glue. A toothpick or needle will do the trick. At the back side of the vehicle there are some gaps due to the deformation of the upper armor. I filled them with the putty. Since it's very easy to use and control, I used Vallejo plastic putty. The thing what makes your job easy is cleaning the excess putty with the cotton swab and thinner. The accessories which is given with the kit is very limited. I glued them to the armor and painted in the end. The vehicle has got a small turret with a 20mm cannon on it. The instruction manual seems to have not been carefully prepared. You need to check some reference photos to understand which part goes where. It is not a complicated kit, it won't be a headache, but we have seen better manuals. We have largely finished our work on the upper armor by assembling the side armors. Preparation is everything. Using those wooden sticks for the wheels will make your life much easier while painting them. Well, let's start painting. Of course, I will prime the model first with the Mr. Surfacer 1500. This is the finest version, but I will use rapid thinner to thin it down. As you can see here, the paint diluted in the right ratio can be applied to the model surface with a great ease. If you're thinking I should apply primer, my answer will be yes if you paint it with airbrush. But if you are painting with a brush, it will be unnecessary. Since you apply many thin coats with the brush, the first layers will act as primer. While painting with airbrush, primers like Mr. Surfacer will break the surface tension and prepare it for the main color. After I primed, I wanted to do some pre-shading. But first, I used an acrylic color from Ammo series. It was my fault I couldn't dilute it in the right ratio, so I lost the control of the paint and created thick lines. Then emptied the cup and filled it with Mr. Hobby Black. Also, you can easily lose your hand habit. Especially my first few lines are always being worse than my usual. Pre-shading doesn't require a neat work, but I always try to do it properly. I like the black and white look after it finished. I used Vallejo Modulator for the main camouflage color. It is said that Vallejo Air series can be poured to the cup directly, but I prefer using some thinner. I'm doing 2 coats of main color, first layer to fill inside the shaded areas, and the second one to soften the shades and unify the surface. I picked a lacquer-based paint for the second color of camouflage. First, I draw the lines of camouflage with a pencil and then filled inside of those lines. I use harder Steenbeck 0.2mm airbrush for this kind of detail painting. I find lacquer paints easy to use. It doesn't dry like acrylic paints in the nozzle and gives you much more control over the paint flow. Well, I'm done with the camouflage and it is time for weathering. I will use simple, well-known methods. First, I will lighten up the main color with white and create some scratches over the side armor using a very fine brush. Doing random, uneven scratches is the most important thing. I know that it doesn't look interesting now. Don't be fooled by this view, just wait a bit more. Also, since I'm using an acrylic color, I can always correct the mistakes with a cotton swab and some thinner. After scratches, I use chipping technique with the same color all over the vehicle. Second phase is filling inside of those scratches with gray. You don't have to fill all of them. Leaving some of them as it is going to create a nice contrast. After the second phase, the third phase is with enamels. By the way, if you have noticed, I did not use any varnish at all, and I think this way is much better, because varnishes can change the tone of the color and I don't like it. Anyway, I'm using a track wash enamel color for the scratches. I apply this color only on the scratch and clean it with enamel thinner. This three-phase technique, which I saw from Uncle Night Shift, is almost the perfect rusted scratch painting in my opinion. Another enamel paint for washing technique. While cleaning, you should pay attention to make the parts more visible or pronounced. And the final touch is the dust and dirt deposit. This is a very interesting product. I heavily dilute it with enamel thinner, and when you apply it, you don't understand how it is going to look. You should wait until it gets dry. So it is important to be careful while using this paint. I use Molotov liquid chrome for the lights. If you are obsessed with metallic paints like me, you should definitely try this. For the tracks, I copied from Uncle Night Shift again. First, I painted the tracks with grey color like German grey, and then used light color rust and dust tip, but only the rust colors. I diluted them heavily with water and simply applied on the tracks. After that, I painted the rubber parts with tyre black and used Ushi pigments for metallic effect, and in the end used the same dust deposit for the tracks. Well, it's the end. Hope you liked the way it looked, and the next video is going to be a Leopard 2 A6. So I'll see you in the next video. Take care.